Got the AC cooking, got the boost going.
I'm very happy about the AC.
What more can you ask for? Boost and AC.
Right.
Perfect. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I haven't really done many updates on the E36 M3 since I installed the Supercharger. So today we're going to try and figure out a couple glaring issues. It's been super hot in Arizona, probably like 100, 105 degrees. And I can't get the AC to trigger because in stock form, it's triggered off of the stock DME. There's an input from the AC pressure sensor and like a couple other temp sensors to make sure that when the AC compressor kicks on, that it's all safe and it's not gonna blow up the AC system. So that's all controlled by the stock DME. Today, I'm actually gonna try to bypass that. You can actually wire up the temp switch or pressure switch from the AC going straight to the compressor relay, and it should trigger that and all work normally. I still, hopefully the little snowflake button on the inside of the car actually turns the AC on and off. Hopefully that still works with this little hack. But for anyone that's running a standalone on an E36 and you want your AC to work, this might be a good video for you guys. I found another guy that was running a M52 TU engine, and those motors don't actually, are not controlled by the stock DME for AC. So they came up with a little hack to jump those wires and it started working apparently. So we're gonna try that out. The other issue is this Active Auto Work Stage 2 kit is supposed to be at around like 6-7 PSI with this pulley that's on it in the current setup. I'm only seeing like 5 PSI, so either the belt's slipping or I have a boost leak or something else is going on. So we're gonna do a quick boost leak test, see if that's all good, and then kind of go from there. There is a little bit of belt residue on the pulley belt dust, and that's a sign that there's belt slip going on. That is an old belt, so I'm actually might be trying another belt on it if there isn't a boost leak. But I really want to eventually run a smaller pulley on this thing and make like 14 PSI, and then do a clutch and a fuel pump to hopefully support the added power. It already feels really fast at 5 pounds. I just want to make sure that this kit is working to its max efficiency because I went through all the trouble of supercharging in the first place. So we're going to go through that today, so stay tuned. These actually do heat too in the winter, but I can actually cool my 2-car garage. I do have insulation and the front door is insulated, but super good investment. It pays dividends when you want to try and work on your cars in the summer and it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, especially if you live in Arizona. I got a lot of car friends out here, so definitely a good investment. If you want some more information on this, just comment below and I'll try to like add some links to this particular model. They do sell bigger models for bigger garages, but this one works pretty well for a 2-car garage and it actually cools it down really quickly, so I'm happy with it. Okay, so the trick with this is you have to pull out the 20-pin connector there and jump 2 of the wires that go from the bottom of it. There's a ground trigger that triggers the actual, where is it? So this is the AC compressor relay right there. And actually it's the yellow one on the back there. So the stock DME will send a signal, a ground signal to there, ground that out, and then that will in turn power the AC compressor clutch and turn on the AC. So we're gonna see if we can bypass the DME part of it that checks to make sure everything's safe just by running from the AC pressure switch, grounding that out, and then that going back to the AC compressor clutch and kicking it on. So hopefully that works out, right, Remy? Yep. The X20 connector is going to be the connector closest to the front of the car. So there's actually three of these guys. So again, connector closest to the car, and then it's pins 4 and 5. So if you look inside of there, you can actually see all the pin numbers on each one of those. And then what I ended up doing was using these little splice connectors, so I can actually put a switch in between there eventually if I want to, if I ever want to go back to the stock DME. But yeah, so you're bridging those two pins, 4 and 5. I check continuity with the tester there, and I'm gonna put all these plugs back on and then see if the AC fires up. All right, hopefully doing this doesn't fry something in my standalone, because I'll be pretty pissed, but let's see if this works. I'll leave this off before I start the car. Still starts up, so that's good. All right, let's try it out. Yes! I think the compressor kicked on. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's working. Blowing cold. I might have to adjust the standalone, the idle RPM when this signal is turned on, just to bump up that idle a little bit, but yeah, I think it's working. Oh yeah. Woo! I'm really happy about that. I don't have to go through the DME to trigger that compressor. The compressor is definitely spinning. Good news, real good news. That was a huge win, having AC working. You guys don't even know. I mean, I guess you would know if you live in Arizona like me, but 100-degree weather, not having AC in the car sucks. So that's huge. And the best part is, it's not gonna hurt the AC compressor or the AC system, because that pressure switch that keeps things safe and kicks off the compressor, that's still wired up. So I basically bypassed the ECU and just bridged that pressure safety switch directly to the compressor. So if the pressure does get too high in the system, it'll turn the compressor off, or if it reaches, I think, certain operating temperature. Normally on cars, you'll hear the compressor kick on and off, so all that should operate normally. I think really the only advantage is the ECU will actually turn off the compressor above like 4,000 RPM. So if I'm really ripping on the car, I should probably be careful and just maybe turn off the AC if I'm in like higher RPM and stuff. Just make sure I don't burn out the compressor. All right, next order of business is doing a boost leak test. Now, I ordered this off of, I think it's like boostleaktester.com or something like that, a couple of years ago. All this really is a PVC end cap, and then you have the Schrader valve fitting with a little rubber O-ring, and then you got your pressure gauge. It's just got some like Teflon tape on it so it doesn't leak. And then you got like a little boot, and then depending on what size your turbo housing is or whatever pipe you're trying to connect it to, this goes straight on the end of it. And then you can pump up your system with an air compressor to a specified boost level, and then listen for leaks. Another thing I forgot to mention is I'm gonna actually be recirculating the blow-off valve again. I had the blow-off valve venting the atmosphere, but it's just so incredibly loud at high RPM and no load, because it's just a constant whooshing noise when you're off the throttle and that blow-off valve is open, These were completely different. These are bypass valves and not actual blow-off valves for superchargers. They work differently in the fact that they're open at idle or no load instead of closed all the time with a turbo car. It just keeps load off of the compressor and the belt system when you're not actually in boost and you're just idling. So it was super annoying to keep that open, and hopefully recirculating it again will bring down that noise level. I even tried to put a little motorcycle filter on the end of the bypass valve to make it a little bit quieter, but still stupid loud, very distracting when driving, sounds obnoxious, don't like it. So got the boost leak tester straight on the compressor. I didn't want to hook it up to the end of the actual intake track because obviously that's not going to be pressurized and there's no reason to test that, and it could blow off anyways. Plus my catch can routes back to the intake side, so it's going to pressurize the whole PCB system, and I don't want to be doing that. So gonna pump up the compressor, hook it up to that Schrader valve, and then start testing for boost. This is what I had on the end of the blow-off valve. I was hoping this little shield too would help with the noise and kind of muffle it a little bit, but didn't really do anything. We're recirculating the blow-off valve now. You can see that runs up and then it goes right there. Yep. And then I'm actually going to play around with this little set screw on the top of the blow-off valve, see if I can hold any more boost, or I don't know, play around with it a little bit. Maybe have boost come on a little bit sooner. But yeah. And then my air filter comes down right where the bumper is, right there. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a little test drive and still pumped that the AC is working. And the boost leak test produced good results, so we're good there. The other thing I'm doing here is I raised the rev limiter from like 6,900 to 7,200, and it was actually like 50 RPM high. I guess there's a little buffer area, and I kind of over revved the target, so it's gonna lower that a tiny bit so we don't over rev the motor and blow it up. That would be pretty bad. So we're going into the rev limiter and set this to like 7150. So I took this thing for a little test drive. Man, it feels like really powerful now. I think that blow-off valve screw I was talking about, this one down here, definitely needed to be adjusted because it's holding a lot more boost, and the boost is coming on a lot sooner too. That's very interesting. The one thing I need to do, because the AC compressor is kicking on now, it's stalling at some stoplights, so I need to raise the idle just a tiny bit to get it to catch properly and not stall out. But other than that, dang, it's pretty good. Now I gotta tune the rest of the VE table and the upper boost levels because I've never reached that area yet. So I shouldn't really be driving this car because my tires are absolutely cooked. The other one's actually even worse. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm running a lot of rear camber, or rear toe actually, and just created a lot of wear. I've had these Achilles ATR Sports like for a couple sets now, and they've never done this before, so yeah, it's pretty gnarly looking. valve recirculating.
Yeah. Jesus Christ!
That was 100.
Maniac. Oh, and the visor's going crazy.
Can you not stall, please? I have to retune that part of the VA table again. Valve sounds better too when it recirculates.
Yeah.
That little now that the AC is cooking, got the AC cooking, got the boost going.
I'm very happy about the AC.
What more can you ask for? Boost and AC.
Right.
Perfect.
Especially here.
Yeah. And what was today? Like 100 degrees?
Like 105.
Yeah.
It's a necessity.
Definitely need the AC. So I think when I get back, I just need to retune the lower RPM. With that blow-off valve recirculating, it's letting more air in at idle, so it's probably leaned it out a tiny bit. So, because when I suddenly drop RPMs, it just wants to stall out. So hopefully that problem is fixed. Other than that, it's getting there. Need some new tires. As you saw, they're absolutely roasted. I don't know how they're lasting this long.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. They're on cords.
I don't know how it's like even gripping with like no tread on it, but oh well. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Oh god, try not to stall. Just figured I'd give you a little E36 update, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.